Welcome to What's the Score, a series solely dedicated to the support of Central Florida's small business and entrepreneurs. Donated as a community service by AM 660 The Answer and Salem Communications. Now, here's Christopher Hart and Rich Jaeckle.
Welcome to What's the Score? Hi there, everyone. I'm Christopher Hart of the American Adversaries Radio Show. And I'm here today with, well, I was going to say Rich Jaeckle, but Rich is not here today. But we do have Paul McNally of Score. Hey, Paul, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. It's good to be back.
All right, and Rich will be back next week. But sitting in for Rich today, we have a great guest because she's got some great experiences to tell you folks about working with Score. And I'm talking about Terri Purdum of Golf Central Magazine. Hey, Terri, how you doing?
I am groovy, and I am glad to be here. Thank you guys for having me over. I'll try to do my job here, Rich, if you're listening.
I'm sure he is. But folks, once again, Score is a great organization, and this show and Score are all about helping you come up with that winning combination to make your business a success. Whether it's a new idea or whether you're already in business, Score is there for you. And real quickly, Paul, give us a little rundown on what Score is all about.
Well, what we do, we're a national nonprofit association, and we're dedicated to helping entrepreneurs get their new businesses off the ground. We help both new businesses, startup businesses, and also people that are in business to grow their business to the next level. And we do that through education and counseling and mentorship.
And one of the great things about the Score group here in Orlando is they have a walk-in office inside the Entrepreneurial Center, which is in the Fashion Square Mall. That's right there at McGuire and East Colonial Drive. And the Fashion Square Mall between Sears and J.C. Penney's is where you'll find the Entrepreneurial Center. And you can just go in there and say you'd like to speak to someone from Score, and they'll help you right out. You can call and make an appointment if you like, or you can just walk in anytime, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. If you'd like to make an appointment, the phone number is 407-420-4844. That's 407-420-4844. If you'd like to go online and see what they have to offer, you can find them at orlando.score.org. That's orlando.score.org. And remember, folks, we're interested in hearing your comments and any questions that you might have or requests for a certain subject matter you'd like us to discuss. If you have these things in mind, give us contact us at score@nationalec.org. That's score@nationalec.org. And thank you for the remarks that we've been getting so far and the compliments, and we'll try to answer the questions that we're getting as we go along here as well. And here's the best part. There's no cost for Score for people who come in, right?
Absolutely free.
Absolutely.
It's unbelievable. The kind of talent that's available right there in that incubator for free.
And this is one of those instances where you're getting a whole lot more than what you pay for. You know the old saying, because that's what Score is all about. It's people who have succeeded in business, who volunteer to help other people succeed in business. And
we've got about 60 volunteers that all come from different walks of life, some CEOs of big companies, people that grew sales organizations, people from the marketing world, people from operations. So we can match you up with the right person that will help you in the area that you need help.
And if you don't believe us, Terri is here to give you her testimony today. And right. Terri, you have a great magazine called Golf Central.
Thank you.
And it is a hard copy magazine. And where can people find this?
Well, we're statewide in the state of Florida for 15 years. We celebrate our 15-year anniversary April 99. But this issue that you're looking at right here has on the masthead Florida, Tennessee Golf Central. We've expanded into Tennessee. I had an old publisher friend give me a shout, and he was doing a newspaper back then. He said, Knoxville deserves a good quality, glossy publication. Can we do this together? And this is the end product of that culmination about a month ago. So we distribute up there, and golf courses, golf tournaments is our key distribution place. If you've got a charity golf event, and we can donate what we call mags for bags. If you go to any charity golf event, you'll usually get what they call a goodie bag that has all kinds of little tchotchkes and things in it. And we make sure that Golf Central Magazine is part of that goodie bag, promote the tournament, kick the sponsors, and then do post editorial on the event, how much money was raised, talk about the people that donated, especially the volunteers. And we work with any organization across the state of Florida and beyond. And this is the number one place that raises the most money via the game of golf in the country is the state of Florida. And so we distribute in each one of those tournaments, plus our resorts. And, you know, we have some paid circulation also, but and online.
And you can go online to floridagolfcentral.com. You spell all that out, floridagolfcentral.com, and you'll get a nice taste of the magazine. And it is a high quality magazine.
Thank you. We have a blast.
And you feature, as you say, you feature charity golf tournaments in there. You feature local golfers,
yes,
like retired athletes.
Big time. We work with the NFLPA, and those guys are, again, big part of charity golf events. They have foundations of their own. Emmett Smith and Derek Brooks have an event coming up the 15th of September. I'd like to promote that a little bit over at Tampa Palms. Club Corp, which I know that you're a member, Club Corp member at Citrus. But one of the things that we like to do with those NFL players is if they have a story to tell about how golf has taken them from becoming a retired NFL player, and, those guys have been beat up. They've been beat to death. And golf has found them another sport that they can go out. It's a game that you can play from 9 to 90 and, a lot of camaraderie, but they're also really involved in different fundraisers. And that gets them out, and they're celebrities. People like to be on a cart with Mike McBath and listen to his Reggie Branch's stories. And, those guys took people to the Super Bowl, and, they're a lot of fun to be with and a lot of fun to play with. And
by the way, Mike McBath was a guest on this show, the second edition of it, and told us all about his experiences with the Orlando Predators, who have just been purchased by David Siegel, another businessman here in the area. Maybe we can get him on the show, too.
That would be good.
Real quick, before we really get into the meat of the show here this morning, Paul, can you tell us about an upcoming event that's free to the public?
Yep, we have an upcoming seminar on Saturday, September 6th, 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., and it's a good introduction. It's a good place for somebody to start. If you've got an idea that you're thinking about going into business, it's a great place to give you some basis on how SCORE can help you. If you've got limited knowledge about starting a business and what it takes and the different events that you're going to be going through as far as setting up accounting, setting up your corporation, going through and setting up an organization chart and financing and the whole works, building a business plan. This is going to give you an overview, and then it will lead on to more counseling sessions or additional seminars that we do offer. We offer about 20 different seminars each month.
Now, this one is free, and it's when again?
It is Saturday, September 6th. It'll be at the National Entrepreneur Center.
That's at the Fashion Square.
At the Fashion Square Mall, 9:30 to 12:30. You can just show up. You don't need to make a reservation for this seminar. Just show up, and it is free.
Okay, and that's coming up right here in just a couple of weeks. So actually, it's about 3 weeks. But please take advantage of that, folks. If you're curious, if you've been listening to the show and you want to find out more about SCORE, and this would be a great way to do it. You can meet the people face to face.
Absolutely, and all of our seminars, you can see them online at orlando.score.org.
That's awesome. That's awesome. People will not believe how the energy of the entrepreneurs that come in there and the quality of the experienced people that you're going to be able to sit down and talk to. And you say, oh, everybody wants to be in their own business. Everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. But when they go in there and they actually start chatting it up with these professionals that have been doing things and retired executives from, like you say, all walks of life. But you walk in and just the feel of the room, when you walk into the mall, the graphics, you can see, you feel like you're building something. You feel like you're going somewhere, and all the energy is amazing. You guys will be impressed.
And what our goal is to try to help you succeed, and more importantly, to help you not be unsuccessful. We're going to tell it like it is. It's not a feel-good session, and we're going to tell you exactly what reality is so that you can avoid the mistakes that some people don't.
And that's what people need to have. To be successful, you need to know the reality of the world. You don't need to know fairy tales or something like that.
Exactly. The do's and don'ts.
Exactly. I was watching Shark Tank the other night, and
great show.
Mark Cuban especially is quite adamant. Yeah, well, you have to be in business, otherwise you go broke.
Yep.
And it doesn't mean that you have to be nasty. It just means that you have to be real.
Well, the other thing that some young people, they're very enthusiastic and they go in and they've got an idea and they're going to set the world on fire. Don't be, what should I say? You can't tell somebody they have an ugly baby. Just, listen to what they say. Take from there. You may never do what they tell you to. You may be so hard-headed that you don't listen to people with experience. And things change every day, you know, from the internet and social media. And these guys are, another thing I thought about Rich that was impressive, he's a little older. I don't know how much older than me, but a bit older.
Ancient.
Much older than you, trust me.
Ancient is a word that jumps to mind.
And there was a lot of young people in there with like some techie things and some appy things. And he knew some things that he could share with that group, which, you know, don't judge a book by its cover, but again, don't take offense to people's advice when they tell you exactly, you know, whether it's going to fly or whether it's not. Don't squash your enthusiasm, but...
Yeah.
Rich is very high-tech, actually. When I was at his house the last time, he still has a black dial telephone.
A rotary phone. Really? Okay.
But, you know, the folks over at SCORE, they're not there to intimidate you. They're not there to scare you off. They're there to help you. And sometimes, you know, help comes, you know, with frank discussions. And but that's what you need to have, folks, you know, once again, to be a success in business. And then, you know, once they get you set on your way, it's up to you. It's up to you, the effort that you put into it. And they make it so easy because you can go online. You can get some of the forms that you need, for instance, to make a budget, to make a business plan, to do a profit loss statement, things that you will need if you're going to go out and look for investors. And also, there are going to be things that you need to be able to judge your success against. So take advantage of this. Once again, orlando.score.org is their website. You can call them at 407-420-4844. And don't forget, on September 6th, from 9:30 to noon over at the Entrepreneurial Center, you'll be able to go in and experience one of their seminars.
And if you can't make it on September 6th, we're doing the same seminar that following Tuesday evening, September 9th, from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., same place at the Fashion Square Mall, National Entrepreneur Center.
Okay. All right. We're getting ready to go to the break here in about a minute. When we come back, we're going to be talking about some things that you can do with a business and some perhaps unfamiliar terminology. And we'll bring in Terri with this because she, for instance, had to do some trademarking and things like that, you know. And some of these things, folks, you may not even know you need to be doing. And one of the things that can be a big headache for you is to get into a business and not understand all the regulations or all the requirements that are going to be coming your way.
It can get costly.
It can get very costly because these are legal issues that sometimes may require getting yourself a lawyer. So you need to be prepared for these sort of things. And once again, this is what SCORE can do for you.
Free legal advice, exactly.
No, we don't give legal advice.
They tell you how to avoid...
how to approach it.
When to get an attorney, I should say, not free legal advice.
Exactly, but they give you the guidance that you need so that you can make these decisions, all right? So I hope you'll make the decision to stay with us through the break here. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation with Paul McNally from SCORE and Terri Purdum of Golf Central Magazine. So please stay with us. You are listening to What's the Score? We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back to What's the Score? Christopher Hart here along with Paul McNally of SCORE and Terri Purdum of Golf Central Magazine. And once again, thanks for being with us, folks. What's the Score, of course, is all about coming up with that winning combination to help you succeed in your business. If you'd like to find out more about SCORE, go to orlando.score.org. Or give them a call at 407-420-4844. This is our Keys to Success segment of the show, where we talk about some of the common things that people do that help make them fail and some of the things that you can do to help you succeed. All right, so first of all, we were talking just before we went to the break with Terri that you had to do a bunch of trademarking recently. And did you know you were going to have to do that?
Actually, yes, we kind of figured we did. And let me tell you, when you deal with the kind of product that you're talking about, that we have trademarked, Turf Life was synonymous with another culture of people that are saltwater enthusiasts.
Okay, now hold on a second. You have Golf Central Magazine. What is Turf Life?
Thank you. Turf Life is a new branding that we've created to pay respect and homage to the people that are maintenance people on the turf grass. There's John Deere's, the sprinkler people, the chemical people, the behind-the-scenes people, the agronomy specialists that make sure that those fields that we play golf on, soccer on, courses that we play golf on, fields that we play soccer and football on are maintained, and they know how to grow grass. And it's not just mowing and cutting and growing and fertilizing. These people know regulations. They know what they're doing. So Turf Life was really created to show respect and pride that you're part of the turf life. You play your sports on turf, like Salt Life people do when they're anglers, scuba divers, jet skiers, and it's a huge culture of saltwater enthusiasts that started Salt Life, and now it's very viral. They actually have licensed the name to people that open up crab shacks, the Salt Life Crab Shack, big apparel lines, long sleeve tees, all the anglers, scuba diver people, they all have Salt Life on the back of their cars. So since I'm a golfer and have started a golf magazine 15 years ago, we wanted to brand ourselves and show our pride for what we do on the turf. And, of course, golf being the biggest amounts of turf maintained out there, the people that are getting turned on by it the most are the maintenance people. And it was really exciting. But the first time when I said Turf Life, everybody goes, well, what's Turf Life? And all I had to do was say, well, you know what Salt Life is? And then they said, did you trademark it? You better trademark it. Did you already get your copyright? And because they knew what a great idea it was. And they knew since Salt Life was so popular that we needed to do the same. And it's amazing what you can find online, but it's also amazing what SCORE can provide just by telling you, don't feel comfortable just doing one trademark. If you've changed any part of the design or any part of the phraseology, and it could be infringing, or as Rich put it when I spoke with Mr. Jaeckle, diluting another brand that might come after you, then you definitely want to go ahead and pay that $275 to the state. There's a website that just takes you all the way through the steps. Anybody can do it. Don't feel intimidated. Anybody can trademark anything.
So the process is pretty simple?
Very simple. It's $275 per trademark, though. That's something you want to keep in mind when you've got an idea, and you're trying to bank for protection and stuff like that, where's the money coming from and is it important to? And when we told people about Turf Life, I'm not kidding, this second sentence was, did you trademark it? It's so cool. And it's, oh my gosh, it's a great idea. And Richard was really instrumental in making sure that I knew, yes, that I was taking those right steps.
That's the one client he was successful with.
Paul, let me ask you this.
He was pretty good.
Now, you came up through the restaurant business. You're a business broker. You match up buyers with sellers of businesses. Is trademarking, is that a very important thing for pretty much any business person to take into consideration? Just about everybody has a name for their business, for instance, and a logo.
It definitely is. Logos are a big thing that needs to be trademarked. There's a lot of intellectual property that now is being trademarked. So there's a lot of different things that are going, and there's attorneys that their specialty is trademarking and copywriting, and it's very, very important, especially if you're going to expand in the restaurant business. I'm working with a group now that is going to start franchising, and they're starting to copyright and trademark some of their properties so that somebody else doesn't steal the idea and do the same thing.
And that was, real quickly, there's a reverse purpose for this, too, and that is going through the trademarking process, you make sure that you don't step on someone else's trademark or dilute it like Terry was just talking about, which you can end up getting sued for if you do not go through the proper channels.
Exactly. And if you step on the wrong people and they've got staffs of attorneys, then they could put you out of business just suing you for infringing on their area. So it's a good works both ways.
I was going to share a story with you, and you probably have a ton of these too, that someone told me that eat more chicken. Now, what do you think about when somebody says eat more chicken?
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. And there's a cow that's saying eat more chicken. And there's a company that came out, the kale producers of America or the world, I think it was America, kale producers. They wanted everybody to eat more kale. And they had that phraseology and did not trademark it and did not go through the proper channels to take that on, and Chick-fil-A came after them. We said eat more chicken. You can't say eat more kale if you're trying to promote your product to, it's food. And, that has a lot to do with it, too, whether or not it's something that could be thought of like that.
And they've spent a lot of money. And they've spent a lot of money trying to have that catchy phrase catch on, and they want to protect that.
Yeah, so if you are in doubt, folks, once again, this is where SCORE can help you out. Like Terry is saying, if you go down to SCORE, you're not certain if you're doing the proper things to protect yourself, go to SCORE. They'll help you out. And so this is something, that everybody needs to keep in mind, because there's a lot of people out there and competition is stiff. And if they think that you're stepping on their toes in their marketing strategy, they will come out. I mean, Disney is very notorious for this.
They're the ones.
I mean, you can't get anywhere close to the mouse.
Exactly.
Well, I want to share something else, too. I'm a senior in the business world of being an entrepreneur. I started my own business when I was 20. And you think you know everything also. And go in with no ego, even if you have been an entrepreneur all your life and you've got something new, you've got a new idea, you've got a new concept, or you just want to change something you're doing. Don't be afraid to say, I have an open comment card to not just your potential clients, potential business people you want to do with. deal with, but also when you go into SCORE, go open-mindedly as a mature business person. They're not all 20-year-old people with new ideas and new techie people going in there. They're people my age going in that have, our second wind, and we want to do something. So when you go and there's someone sitting across the table that's your age or maybe younger, they've got something to share. And that open comment card is very important.
And it is. And you need to be upfront with everybody. It's like a free advisory board. We're there to help you. We're there to keep you out of trouble. We're there to keep you out of failure. And we're gonna tell it like it is. We're gonna pat you on the back when necessary, and that's what we like to do. But where we get the pleasure out of it is when you're successful and you avoided that failure and your business turns out to be successful. And last year, and Chris, you were at our BizFest last year. It was good to have some of our success stories there. People that have been in business and are successful. We had a caterer that was there that did the food, that was a startup business that we counseled through. We had somebody that helped with the setup and the tables. We had a number of those people that we brought back. John Cheek actually did provide the beer for the BizFest. So it's good to see those success stories after they are running for a few years.
And that's the fantastic thing about SCORE, is it's there for anybody who's in business or wants to start one up. There's no time limit on how long you've been in business. All you need to do is come in there and ask for their advice, and they're willing to give it to you. Now, we just talked about trademarking. Also, something that people may not be familiar with is they have to file a fictitious name registration. How is that different, say, Paul, from trademarking?
Well, a fictitious name is typically, if you're opening a business, you're going to have some type of a LLC or a corporate name. And that name may be different than what the name of your business is. For example, if I've got Paul McNally LLC and I'm working under the name of ABC Brokerage or American Business and Commercial Brokerage, then you would have to file a fictitious name that you have a DBA, a doing business as. And there's certain requirements that you go through. It has to be put in the paper for so many days. And there's a small fee that goes along with it, but it basically is telling the world that this is what you're going to be, the name you're going to be doing business as, and that gives everybody a chance to make sure that if there's somebody else out there doing business that by that name, that they're getting noticed that somebody else is going to also do it.
Small fees, like $35, I believe.
Yeah, it's a real small fee.
And this is, once again, it's meant to protect you, just like the trademark is meant to protect you. This is meant to protect you as well, folks. And a lot of people, they get caught up in the enthusiasm of starting a business. They think all they got to do is go down to the occupational license office, grab an occupational license, maybe do an LLC, and they're in
print up some business cards, and they're there.
They're off to the races. That's right. And it takes a little bit more than that. Sometimes it's real simple. Sometimes it's a little bit more involved. That's where SCORE can come in and help you out. And once again, they do this for free. And this is what corporations and business executives pay big bucks, to get this type of advice. And these guys are there to help you folks for free. And once again, you may need more than one license. Is that correct, Paul?
Absolutely. Please don't mix me up with Rich now. Rich will be back next week. I think he's only got 1 week in the drying out detox center.
Right. There he is. Poor thing.
There are different licensings depending on what business you're in. For example, in my business, in the business brokerage business, I need a state license that we work under the Real Estate Commission. So we need to have a real estate license in order to buy or in order to broker businesses. But also, my office is in Altamont Springs. I need a City of Altamont business license, which is actually part of that money goes to the county, part of that money goes to the city. So there's licensing there. And if it was a restaurant, you also need a Department of Business and Professional Regulations restaurant license or a liquor license if you're serving liquor, or a beer and wine license if it's just beer and wine. So there are different licensing that depending on the business that you're in, and we can help you with that on sending you to the right areas so that it can save you a lot of hassle in the end.
And again, a lot of you can just go online and get a ton of that information. But one of the things that I'd like to share with some of the groups of people that are out there, home-based business. If you work in certain cities, they're going to know, if you've got a business license, it's your home address, they're going to know how much traffic, or if you have big deliveries, or what kind of people are coming in and out of the neighborhood, not just your neighborhood association, but actually the city that you're doing business in. And it's really important. And besides that, it's just polite to know and to go through the proper license, whether you're a hot dog vendor standing on the street or you have a lemonade stand.
And once again, These are things that if they're not done properly in the beginning can end up costing you dearly later on down the line and may actually even cost you your business. So once again, if you're in doubt, go to SCORE and they'll give you the answer. And once again, it is free. Their mentoring and their counseling is absolutely free to anyone who comes in. And you can find out all about it, as Terri was saying, online at orlando.score.org, or just go right on into the Entrepreneurial Center over there in Fashion Square Mall, or give them a call there at 407-420-4844. Okay, when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more in depth with Terri about her experience with SCORE, which started a while back, and then she renewed. So please don't go away. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back to What's the Score, the show designed to help you come up with that winning combination for your business. I'm Christopher Hart in the studio along with Paul McNally of SCORE and Terri Purdum of Golf Central Magazine. And Terri Purdum, I'm sorry. Terri, okay. Once again, thanks for being with us here this afternoon. And
my pleasure.
Okay, and folks, we're going to spend this segment and the next segment of the show talking to Terri about her experiences with SCORE. SCORE is a great organization, and it's there for anybody who is in business or starting a business. And let's let her tell her story, and you'll see what I mean. First of all, you're the publisher now of Golf Central Magazine. You've been publishing this magazine for 15 years. It's a beautiful magazine. Folks, you can go to floridagolfcentral.com to find out more about the magazine and get a subscription if you like.
And like us on Facebook, please.
There you go. Like them on Facebook. But you didn't go to SCORE when you started your golf magazine. You went to them for a whole entirely other business.
Another world, another life, another person. Back in St. Petersburg 8 years ago. I turned 54 in July. So when I was a neophyte in business down in South St. Pete, someone said to my ex-husband and I, who was my business partner for 13 years, the reason he is my ex-husband, ladies, watch that. Working with your husbands, it can be kind of tough. But we were,
24 hours a day around the same person. Yeah.
One thing is the energies and the passion are channeled in the same direction when you go home. That's the good part. But we were told about SCORE back in the day, and it's completely different than what's out there now. We went to a little meeting room where this retired executive was donating his time, and forgive me for not remembering his name, but it was with a college over there in St. Pete, and he was instrumental in us getting an Economic Development Council loan to expound our business, which at the time was solar graphics. We started out with a window tinting company, cars, boats, homes, energy efficiency, shade resistant, ultraviolet protection, stuff like that. And we birthed a business opportunity from that, not a franchise, but a business op with the help of SCORE. And I was a regular. Not only did I enjoy talking to the person, because this man had been through wars and back, and anytime you can get someone like that and you can learn, and we had a blast. We had fun. We went to lunch, but he would tell me all along the way, no, that's good, kiddo. Do that. Oh no, I saw what you did with this. And we took what was a window tinting company to a national design window film graphic company and started selling franchises, if you will, but really it was a business opportunity because these people didn't have to give us 5% fees like a franchise did. And we were selling all over the country and all over the world, teaching people how to do window film graphics. And we called it energy saving window designs. And we were really successful because of our SCORE experience back then. And getting that loan was the big part of it, because we were going to increase jobs in what was a recessed area, South St. Petersburg. And we were right on 22nd Avenue South and 34th Street. We ended up buying the building with the money. We ended up expanding our staff, building our franchise. And then when I moved on and had learned how to market my business back then, that's how I became PR publishing for my own company. We won national design awards, and we were window tinters. We were washing windows with soap and water and squeegees and cutting plastic, and became a sign company and then a franchise. And it was a lot of fun growing the business, a lot of fun.
Paul, you're not only a volunteer at SCORE, but you're also a business broker. How typical is her story?
Well, we see that at SCORE. I won't say everybody turns out that successful, but we prevent people from being unsuccessful probably more often than we see the people being successful. But we do get a lot of success stories. That's definitely a good one that we love to hear. I mean, that is the feel-good part of being a volunteer at SCORE. Is
her description of her relationship with her SCORE mentor, is that typical?
Absolutely. We have many clients that have a mentor that they work with through all phases of the development, and even after they get started. We've recently started some team counseling where, you'll pass somebody off to somebody else because they have an expertise in another area. I'm working with somebody right now that's opening a restaurant. They're probably still about 6 or 8 months out in Claremont, and just pass them off to somebody for a couple of sessions to talk a little bit about some marketing plans and some social media, things that I'm not up to speed on, but they've got a good grasp on that. So we try to match the right people with the right person so that we can have similar stories like Terry's telling us here today.
Well, it was more like, too, a father that we didn't have, or, an uncle that, had been in business before, because my ex-husband and I, either one had that kind of person behind us that were entrepreneurs. We had people that clocked in at 9, went to work at 5, got a paycheck, knew they paid in insurance, and both of us were coming from families like that. And my mother was an educator. She went to school every day and taught people. We didn't have that. And this gentleman actually wasn't like that, but he was more of a cheerleader and an atta girl, and helping us. Instrumental in, back in the day, was minority business owned. I was female, and we got a lot of state contracts that we wouldn't have got without that kind of mentoring and help, as, go down there and apply for this, figure out how to work these angles. Bartering was a big part of us getting our marketing campaigns, everything from our sidewalk repaved to banners printed. We would tint windows and barter, and now the government's got that under lock, so you do have to pay taxes when you barter, and there's great bartering companies showing you how to grow your business. But our gentleman was a retired military, so he wasn't really an entrepreneur, but he was just sharp, and he knew, he got in, and he figured out how to help you get those funds, how to go in and talk to other people that knew those candidates. Like you said, if it's not your expertise, tell you how to go.
Exactly. And most of the people that we get have not been in business before, because if they've been in business or they were in a family business, they get a lot of this through that business. So these are most of our clients have never been in business before, and they're green just like you were back then.
Right there.
And so your mentor becomes more than just a mentor.
It's a friend.
Like a friend,
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
And they want to see you succeed. That's the nice thing about it.
Cheerleading, right.
Absolutely. And they want to give you the opportunity to do the best that you can. And once again, if you want to find out more about SCORE, go to orlandoscore.org. And if you have a suggestion for a show, go to score@nationalec.org. That's score@nationalec.org. How did you get from window tinting in that business to Golf Central Magazine?
Interesting. One of the things that I was doing for our business at that time was, we were designing graphics for storefront windows. We became an advertising agency, so to speak. We had an award-winning art department there before we knew it. And what's the circus school down in Sarasota, the art school? Ringling. Thank you. We hired a lot of new Ringling students that were coming out. They didn't teach them how to be business people. They taught them how to be artists. And we got a lot of those really unbelievable people to work in our art department. We started designing, and I was in graphics. I was in advertising before I knew it. And I had no degree in advertising or background. I was my own PR person before I knew it. We started getting all these articles done in all these major newspapers, magazines. Signs of the Times Magazine featured us as a first place winning. People had never heard of a window tinting design company. We were the first people to ever do it. We designed colored window films that knock out 97% of the ultraviolet and 80% of the infrared, and gave you a wonderful design aspect, shatterproof your glass, and people were digging it. They were loving it. So I was then the spokesperson for our business when we started selling franchise. And I said, gosh, I'm a PR person. Before you knew it, we had all these articles being done. Oh, the little couple from St. Petersburg, Rich and Terri Purdum. And my ex-husband, by the way, I want to give him props, because he would work as hard and as long as I would. We worked weekends, and on our art department floor, passing out, asleep at 3 o'clock in the morning, building it. And a lot of energy, a lot of fun.
That sounds pretty typical, doesn't it, Paul?
Well,
Yeah.
But SCORE, these days, it's completely different. That's how I ended up getting into the magazine business, to answer that original question. When I left that business, I didn't really want to own my own franchise. I entertained the idea of opening one in Atlanta, but I sold it to someone else. And I said, gosh, I'm actually a magazine publisher. I didn't even know that. And I was working with another couple and doing a lifestyle publication, took up golf and fell in love. It's addictive. It's intoxicating. And anybody in the game, if you're a golfer, and you probably know who Golf Central Magazine is, and you love the Cart Girl of the Month feature or our Golf Bachelor feature, you know why people love this. And that's when I started this and how I got into it. And my most recent visit to SCORE on the turf-like branding and franchising or decal business was completely different than what it was 28 years ago. I mean, it went from black and white to full-blown color, the graphics and the people and the incubator of ideas.
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, you've been a successful publisher of this magazine for 15 years. What compelled you to go back to SCORE again?
You know what? That's a great question, because Mr. McBath actually was, we were at an NFL PA party, and he said, you got to go. I said, I went down there years ago. That's a great idea. They have one here in Orlando, I'm sure. And when I went there, I want to tell you what I took away. This was the best. I'm there for, and if you can tell, it's kind of hard to shut me up once I get going, so you can raise your hand. Or
kind of like Rich. I thought maybe it was the chair over there or something.
No, it's just me. It's me. I just have a hard time getting enthusiastic about things.
We can tell.
But when I left there, this is the leading comment that Rich said to me. He said, have you ever thought about going down to Rollins College on Wednesday morning? They have a thing called 1,000,000 Cups. And I went, really?
1,000,000 what?
Cups. 1,000,000 cups. Go online, people, and look at this. This is amazing. That was probably the most valuable information I walked away with, except for his fun little stories about people who didn't trademark things and got into trouble in my trademarking answers. And, you don't have to hire an attorney to do all this. Attorneys are very expensive, and if they think you don't know, sometimes you can do a lot of that on your own. But I walked away with, go to Rollins College at 9 o'clock on Wednesday mornings to 1,000,000 Cups. It's crazy what's going on here, and it's going on worldwide. And it's you go down there, entrepreneurs, and you're
talking about every Wednesday morning at Rollins College here in Winter Park.
9 o'clock.
Where over there?
They move it around, which is kind of crazy, because you go park in the parking garage, and that place is kind of complicated to get around sometimes.
It's changed a lot.
Yeah, and they changed the venue of it every week to get you to move to different parts of Rollins for some reason. And a guy named Ben Zen is one of the founders, and he's amazing. He loves startups. He's addicted to startup companies. What you do, you go in there and you have to go and apply to do your pitch. I'm going to call it a pitch. They call it a presentation, but I'm old school. I still pitch people and hustle. Some people say you're not used to that word, but I'm a hustler, baby. But we go down there and you have an opportunity to say what you're going to talk about, what your company is, and you get a 2-minute presentation in front of all these people that come in there. You don't know who's in that audience. There is maybe a millionaire that wants to invest. There might be somebody who wants to have an accounting job, or someone who wants to do social media. So you have an ask, you have a presentation. 2-minute presentation, and 2 people present, and then a 20-minute Q&A per person. And it's amazing, some of the ideas and stuff that's going on down there.
And this is at Rollins College. That is fantastic. All right, when we come back, we'll continue talking with Terri about her experiences with SCORE. And don't forget, folks, you can find out more about SCORE at orlando.score.org. That's orlando.score.org. Or give them a call over there at the Entrepreneurial Center, or go in there and see them. Their number there is 407-420-4844. And if you have any questions, comments about the show, go to score@nationalec.org. That's score@nationalec.org. Okay, when we come back, we'll continue this conversation, so please don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back to What's the Score, the show designed to help you come up with the winning combination for your business. We'd like to thank Bruce. Bruce wrote a great letter to Paul and thanked him and said that he'd like to do business with Paul, and said he'd like to hear him on the radio. And folks, radio is one of the most effective ways available to build name recognition via advertising and or prestige by having your own radio show like this one right here. Now, if you would like to explore the world of radio on one of the most powerful AM stations in Central Florida, then call Paul Proley at 407-618-1769. Paul is with Salem Communications, and he'll help you out with any questions that you may have. That's Paul Proley at 407-618-1769. And once again, thank you, Bruce. And folks, if you have comments that you would like to make, just contact us at score@nationalec.org. And you can find out all about SCORE at orlando.score.org. And Terri, you, before the break, you were telling us about 1,000,000 cups over at Rollins College. It sounds kind of like a Shark Tank kind of thing.
It is a mini version of Shark Tank that goes viral to all the colleges all across the country that are involved with 1,000,000 Cups. And I was saying,
wait a minute. You mean what goes on here goes to all the other colleges as well?
All the colleges across the country, as does their presentations at their colleges, and it's available on their website. But that's what I walked away from SCORE with the other day, as a very mature businesswoman. No, I'm very immature, really. Actually, juvenile sometimes. But it's all the fun of it.
Well, it was good that you were matched with Rich then.
Yes, it was. He was great. But one of the things I walked away from there was that I didn't even know that existed. Believe it or not, I had a retired Rollins MBA person that wanted to get in business with me that didn't tell me that was going on, because he didn't know. I went to SCORE, and he told me, and this guy was the alumni of the president of the Alumni Association for Rollins. He didn't know what was going on, but I went to SCORE and found out. So that's kind of cool just to let people know.
Now,
some of the people within Rollins didn't know, but Rich knew.
Now, if someone wants to go to one of these Million Cup things, how do they do that?
They just let people know that they're coming. They go online, A Million Cups, and they'll say who's going to present the next Wednesday.
I see.
So if you're interested in hearing that, or if you're interested in investing in that, or working for that company, maybe you have some additional ideas on how your business can complement that business, like you said, building a team. That really is a great place to just learn how to do a presentation if you're looking for investment capital also, which is one of the things that I was walking away from that group from also, is these young guys and girls have it going on. People are smarter today than we were back then, I'm telling you.
Now, for something like that, here I go again, Paul. They need to be kind of beyond just the idea stage, don't they?
They do. They definitely need to be beyond the idea stage, and it takes some practice doing that pitch. I mean, you've got to put everything that you've done into a 2-minute presentation get the point across.
What Rich calls the elevator speech.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's exactly right. The elevator pitch.
Out of that Million Cup program also, there's another one, I think it's called Ted Says, that's out there that I just saw one of the versions of that, and it's out on YouTube. You can call that up. And so there's a lot of different Shark Tank type programs. It's how people are trying to raise money for their ventures these days.
So there are all kinds of options out there, folks. You may not even know exist.
I met a couple
SCORE can help hook you up with.
I met a couple of young guys that were sitting in the office waiting to see one of the councils at SCORE. And, of course, I had to ask them what they were doing there, what their business opportunity was, or why they were there. And they are actually doing some networking, social media business things. I can't exactly remember the name of it. Sorry, guys. But I think I'm going to work with them. If they return a call to me and they hear this, we met at the SCORE office, and they have something that could help publications all across the country, or anybody who sells advertising and media, credibility with visibility. That was one of the things that he and I were having a conversation about waiting. So you never know who you're going to meet when you go in there.
Exactly.
It's just a fun place to go look out. If you're in the mall, I say go by there. You will be impressed.
It's better than buying shoes and cheaper.
All right.
Well, kind of a shoe girl.
Now, Terri, you are in the golf world,
yes.
Okay, and that's normally associated with men, although many women golf. Actually, what is the ratio now?
It's 50-50 now.
It is about 50-50.
And it's getting stronger and better 50-50 to every walk of life. One of the missions and my legacy, that if I go out and get hit by a bus when I leave here, hopefully that people will say that Arnold Palmer, Tiger Woods, people like us, that let it be known that this is a game. Let's go out there and have a good time. If you know the manners, you know the rules, come on board. And that's one of the things that women are intimidated sometimes by learning new things. They're like, I talk to executives that actually do advertising buys for major golf resorts and never put a stick in their hand. Don't even know, I play putt-putt, or I've seen it on TV, or,
By a stick, by
go
the way,
out there and play it.
She means golf clubs.
Right.
But she actually just gave me a perfect segue into what we were kind of talking about this during the break. And what I wanted to ask you, Paul, is she just said sometimes women are intimidated. When a woman comes into SCORE, let's say she has more of a woman-oriented business. All right, I don't want to name one because I'll probably be wrong. But let's just say she comes in. Are there many women at SCORE who can help her out?
We probably are comprised with 25% of our volunteers being women. We've got about 60 volunteers, and there's probably about 15 of those that are women. We also have at the Entrepreneur Center, one of the resource partners is the National Association of Women Business Owners. Beautiful. So there is a resource there also which can help people once they're in business. And
you team up with all kinds of like groups for minorities. For instance, Latin, Hispanic minorities, black minorities. Rich has mentioned these organizations on the show.
Right. We've got, I think there's 13 different organizations. We've got the African American Chamber of Commerce, the Asian American Chamber of Commerce, Central Florida Disability Chamber. We've got the University of Central Florida has their Small Business Development Center. There's many other resources, and we're constantly referring people back and forth.
I work a lot with some of these groups that do charity golf events for those kind of organizations. The Latino leadership here is crazy, on fire. They know how to make money. They put people in action. When I see those people working together with all kinds of like businesses, you'll be impressed with that too. If you ever wanted to get involved with a minority business golf tournament, contact Florida Golf Central, and we'll head you in the right direction for that too.
Okay.
Or women, or just, like women on course.
How do they get a hold of you? They can get a hold of you through the website?
FloridaGolfCentral.com. Or again, you can like us on Facebook or Turf Life Now. And the phone number is 321-765-4215. Info at FloridaGolfCentral.com is our email. And we love any suggestions, ideas, comments. You don't have to be a golfer. If you like publishing, or if you like ideas about publishing, and you've got something that you never know. We listen to everything.
What if someone has a charitable golf tournament? Can you help them out?
Absolutely. That's what we are known for. We started branding ourselves 8 years ago as a philanthropic golf magazine because that was the best means of distribution, as I was saying earlier. Get those in the hands of golfers, the goodie mags and bags, right? And we love to kick the charities, and we like to, if we have things in, I call it our special closet, because we get equipment and stuff sometimes given to us for product showcase and product reviews or weekends away. I always donate that to charity. I can't go away every weekend and play at some fabulous spa resort.
Boy, life is tough.
I know.
So if you're out there,
as a kid, I'm joking.
If you're out there and you're organizing a charitable tournament, you need to get a hold of Terri. And once again, you can do that at FloridaGolfCentral.com. That's Florida. Write it all out. FloridaGolfCentral.com, or give her a call over at the offices at 321-765-4615. That's 321-765-4215. I'm sorry, 321-765-4215. 4215, and or like them on Facebook, and she'll definitely help you out. And it is a fantastic magazine. It is high quality. The photography is beautiful. It is cute. Some of the stories in there, like you say, the cart girl and the bachelor, and you highlight, as I said, these athletes who play, and it's really a lot of fun. And it's a great magazine for if you are a golfer, or if you have a golfer in your family, this would be a great gift idea for them. And if you would like to advertise in this magazine, obviously as well, contact Terri at FloridaGolfCentral.com.
Hey, Chris, I noticed looking at Terri's business card, her title is Queen Bee. This is the second queen we've actually had on the air.
Really? There's another Queen Bee out there.
We had the girl from the Chamber of Commerce, Heather on the Hometown of Popka show.
Yeah, that's right.
I got that nickname way back in the day, and people say the B stands for awful things some days when I've had too much caffeine. So we won't go there. The Queen Bee is about the working bees.
All right. And if somebody wants to get more involved with Turf Life, do they just do that at Golf Central as well?
Or go to turflife.org. And we'll celebrate any kind of turf enthusiast that's out there. Polo, horse racing, if it's played on grass, we want to talk to them about how it's maintained and show pride for it. I'll even give away, if they call this show or send anything in, a Turf Life decal to the first people that call or send some sort of email over to the show. Okay, and you can do that at score@nationalec.org. That's score@nationalec.org. Or call them at the SCORE office over in the Entrepreneurial Center at 407-420-4844. That's 407-420-4844. And just tell them that you heard Terri on the radio show giving away decals and you want to get your hands on one. And we'd love to hear more from you. So that's at score@nationalec.org, or call it 407-420-4844. And once again, you can find out all you'd like to know, and you can find out about forms and just everything that you might need at orlando.score.org. Paul, real quick, who do we have next week? Do we have another guest? Next week, we've got the doctor that did the invention. Oh, that's right, that Rich was telling us about. Yep. That's right. This is a fascinating invention. And what's it for? Happening right here in Central Florida. Well, you'll have to tune in next week to find out. And Rich will fill us in. Good tease. Rich Jaeckle will be back. And then the following week, we've got Gary Mulini, who owns a food trailer at Wekiva Island. And he's going to be here to talk about the comparisons of... Does he need any employees over there at that food trailer at Wekiva Island? He might. He may. There's some pretty serious eye candy going on over there. They don't have trouble getting employees. All right. I hope you'll tune in next week. We'll all be back with What's the Score. And don't forget, if you think radio advertising or a radio show is for you, call Paul Proley at Salem Communications, 407-618-1769. That's Paul Proley at 407-618-1769. That's just about going to wrap it up. Terri Purdum of Golf Central Magazine, thanks once again for being with us. Thank you, guys. I had fun. You're a great host. And congratulations on your success in business, and your testimony about SCORE is just fabulous. Thank you.
And Paul, once again, thanks for you guys, and it's just tremendous what you do for the community, and it must be very gratifying when you hear things like that.
It is, and we'll see you next week, Chris.
All right, and once again, folks, don't forget What's the Score is here to help you come up with that winning combination for your business, whether it's a new idea or you're already out there working hard. We'll be working hard for you, so don't go away, and we'll see you next week.